Vietnam is a tropical lowland country located in Asia. It shares its boundaries with China, Cambodia, and Laos. Steamed rice, or com trang, is a staple food in the Vietnamese diet. Common additions to food include salty fish sauce, or nuoc mam, which is made by fermenting anchovies. It is used frequently in cooking as a source of salt or as a dipping sauce. A typical peasant meal is steamed rice with nuoc mam. Seafood is the main protein consumed in the Vietnamese diet. Protein, whether it is beef or seafood, as well as rice and vegetables, are typically cooked in a soup or broth or wrapped in rice paper and eaten raw. Food is also stir-fried with nuoc mam or hoisin sauce. Typically, when food is consumed by families, it is not separated into individual serves. Current food practices in Vietnam are the result of the influence of neighbouring countries and invading populations. When Mongolia invaded Vietnam, they brought beef with them. Neighbouring countries Laos and Cambodia brought spices such as chili and coconut milk. When China was in power, they taught chopstick use and stir-frying method as a way of preparing food. Finally, when the French colonized Vietnam, they introduced coffee and cream, bread, pâté, milk, and butter. Much of Vietnam is Buddhist due to the Chinese influence, and therefore much of the population practices vegetarianism. During the lunar festival, also known as Tet, protein and eggs are forbidden to be consumed on certain days. On special occasions, certain meals are made in celebration. Dishes such as abalone or shark fin soup, sweet banana cake, and coconut and egg custard are typical meals that are cooked for special occasions. Ban chung is another special meal. Climate affects the availability of ingredients in Vietnam. During winter in the north, meat and vegetables are cooked in broths and soups for warmth. In contrast, in the tropical south, where there is longer growing seasons and therefore greater availability of fresh ingredients, more fruits and vegetables are consumed. The Vietnamese cuisine shares many similarities with other cuisines. Like many other Asian diets, the Vietnamese consume rice as a staple element to many meals. Like the Chinese, the Vietnamese also use a stir-fry method to cook food, and use a wide variety of spices such as chili, coriander, and lemongrass like the Thai. An unusual food of the Vietnamese cuisine is duck embryo. A nearly hatched duck egg is boiled and served with fresh herbs on a bed of coriander. The main agricultural outputs of Vietnam are rice, coffee, black pepper, and fish and seafood. Its main exports are rice, coffee, and seafood, while its main imports are beef. Vietnam's key commodities are sugarcane, vegetables, and maize, while Australia's key commodities are sugarcane, whole milk, and wheat products. To begin, there was a change in political leadership and ideology in Vietnam, resulting in a communist republic forming in the north and a democratic republic forming in the south. Eventually, this led to a war between the two ends of the country. In order to escape the war, many Vietnamese families fled by a boat and arrived in Australia between 1977 and 1992. The Vietnamese introduced rice, various green vegetables, and a range of herbs and spices to Australia, as well as the manufacturing of noodles and soy products, for example, tofu. An example of the Vietnamese influence is the Vietnamese street food franchise known as Rolls. Currently, there are 45 stores in Australia to date, and the company is still expanding. They advertise fresh, simple meals that reflect the food found on the streets of Vietnam,